So here we are. In our class student, I have created these variables and I will remove them. First, I will create a function because I can't write a code or a business inside the class direct. Only inside the class direct I can create a functions, I can define a members, variables, etc. So first of all, let's create a function inside the student class. First function will be, for example, to get the student name. As I mentioned, I have to set the access modifier. For now, I will just say public. I will explain what is public and what are the other access modifiers in the next few slides. Public, then I have to set the return type. I need a function to return the student name, so the return type will be string. Then I have to give this function a name, like get student name, and I have to open and close the parentheses, and then I will open and close the curly brackets. Inside these curly brackets, I can write my code. Now, see, in the Visual Studio, there is a red line under this method. Why there is a red line? Red line means there is an error. This error says that student.get student name, not all code paths return a value. So this method should return a value because I defined here, or I set here, the return type as a string. If I need this function to return nothing, I can simply say void. So now this function will return nothing. But for this function, I need this method to return a value. What is the value? I will say return, I can say simply return. To return a value, you can simply use the keyword return and then what is the value. Like for string, inside double quotation, I can say name. And I will end the line by semicolon. So this function now will return this value always. Now let's understand and implement the operators. I will again define a variable, like for example string student name. So now I have a variable called student name, and the data type of this variable is string, and I can use this student name to be the returned value. So here I can say student name. So now this function will return the student name. Here there is an error. The error is because the student name has no value. So in this case we need to assign value name. That's it. So the get student name function will return the student name. So this is how to create a function in C#. And also it's important here to know that this function also can receive a parameters. What are the parameters? Now let's take another example. I will create again public, and the data type will be integer, for example sum, and this function will receive as an input a values. The first value will be integer value, integer a, and comma. In order to add another variable, I will here receive another integer value called b. And if I need to receive more, I can simply split them by comma and int c, for example. And then I will open and close the curly brackets, and then I can write my code inside this curly brackets. Now what I want to do, I need to return integer value, so simply I can say return a plus b, or I can define another variable called integer z equal a plus b, and I can define another variable, for example y equal z multiplied by c. So equal z multiplied by c, and I can return, for example, y divided by 5, for example. So this is how to create a function with input, and also here how we can use the arithmetic operators in C#.